Two thin, fragile hands held the signs, letters dark, uneven, pleading, "Please help us find Mr. Benjaminina." Cars roared past them, engines blaring, and yellow Danfo buses honked insistently under the bright, relentless Lagos sun. The air smelled of roasted corn, smoke curling lazily, mingling with dust and the chaos of traffic around them. Beneath the Oshodi underbridge, two identical girls sat, their tattered ash-colored dresses clinging to their thin, trembling bodies. Their hair was messy, tangled, and wild, yet their eyes were calm, unwavering, and strangely knowing, lifting signs like silent cries. Benjamin slammed the brakes of his black Bentley, the car shuddering violently under his sudden, panicked command of the wheel. His heart raced, thundering in his chest, a strange mix of confusion, fear, and irresistible pull toward the girls. For a single, suspended moment, the noise of the city disappeared. Only the cardboard signs seemed to reach into him. He opened the car door, stepping out into the chaos, the heat, and the constant roar of Lagos life. The girls noticed the tall man approaching, dark navy cap and red details marking him as important and unfamiliar. They exchanged a brief glance, twin minds silently communicating, then focused their steady gaze back on the man who approached. Benjamin stopped a few feet away, chest rising and falling, unsure whether to speak or simply absorb the moment entirely. His voice came out unexpectedly soft, almost reverent, when he asked, "Young ladies, why are you looking for this man?" Both girls spoke simultaneously, their words colliding in the air like thunder, trembling yet confident, full of a strange urgency. "Please help us find him, sir," said the girl on the left, her voice fragile yet determined under the bridge. The girl on the right completed the plea, her words echoing her sister's perfectly, as though rehearsed in secret. Benjamin's eyes widened, his hands instinctively moving to steady the shaking signs, while disbelief made his chest tighten painfully. He swallowed hard, trying to compose himself, before finally asking, "How do you know this? Did he disappear? Has he gone missing?" The girl on the left blinked quickly, fighting tears, while the other held her sister's hand tightly, fear and hope mingling. Her name was Olivia, the right twin said softly, a name unlocking a door in Benjamin's memory he had long forgotten. Benjamin's feet felt like they were sinking, the ground shifting beneath him, as a long-buried memory slowly resurfaced vividly. He remembered a graduation party 15 years earlier, laughter, music, and a kind-eyed girl with a quick, unforgettable smile. It had been one night, only a single night, before life swept him away into meetings, flights, and endless ambition. He had become billionaire CEO Benjamin UA, chasing success, completely unaware that a night like that would shadow his present. He looked at the sister's voice, trembling as he asked, "Your mother, Olivia, she passed away, didn't she?" The left twin nodded, her words delicate and precise. "She died from kidney stones. We didn't have money for the hospital." The right twin added quickly, her voice sharp and almost angry, "After our grandparents died, we had nowhere to go." Benjamin felt a sudden sting in his eyes, clearing his throat, as tears, uninvited and hot, fell down his face. He asked their names carefully, like a man approaching fragile treasures. "What are your names, young ladies?" "I'm Juliet," said the left twin, her voice small, cautious, holding a lifetime of silent suffering in it. "And I'm Juliana," said the right twin, her words firm, her gaze unflinching, like sunlight cutting through dark clouds. Juliet and Juliana, two names that sounded like a song, a warning, and a key to a world long lost. Juliana squeezed her sister's hand tightly, repeating their mother's dying wish. "Benjamin Inna is our father. He must find us." She spoke with conviction, her voice carrying the weight of a curse left in tears, hanging heavy over the underbridge. Benjamin felt something inside him crack open, 10 years of quiet longing and unanswered prayers crashing against his chest. 10 years of doctors in Lagos, Abuja, and London telling him and Amaka that they were perfectly healthy, yet childless. 10 years of hope slowly turning into unbearable silence. The house too big, too clean, too quiet, utterly lonely. He recalled Amaka's note left on the glass table, her handwriting neat but exhausted, a final goodbye to hope. "Maybe we are not meant to be," she had written, leaving Benjamin alone with nothing but sharp fragments of glass. The note had hurt him, yet he had never blamed her, carrying it around like a hidden, painful truth. Now, under the bridge, two girls stood in front of him, their eyes mirrors reflecting a past he had ignored. He took a deep, steadying breath and spoke their names aloud, letting them fall like prayer from his lips. Juliet, Juliana. I didn't know. I never intended to leave anyone behind. I am so sorry. The girls studied him carefully, as if searching for honesty, truth, and remorse on a man's suddenly vulnerable face. Benjamin gathered every ounce of courage, the same that had made him a powerful CEO, and confessed shakily, I think I am your father. Juliet gasped, while Juliana clutched her sister's hand, tears threatening to spill. The cardboard signs dropped to the ground as the three of them stood together, suspended in quiet disbelief. Juliet asked, trembling, "Where have you been all these years? Why did you leave us to suffer so much?" Benjamin pressed his hand to his eyes, nodding as if taking a sudden unseen blow to his soul. "I didn't know," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I promise I didn't know. But I will never leave you again." He made a decisive choice, one stronger than any boardroom decision he had ever taken. "Come with me. Today we find the truth." The twins hesitated, fear and hope warring across their delicate faces, before finally nodding slowly, cautiously accepting this new reality. Benjamin led them to the Bentley, the city staring as thin, fragile girls climbed into leather seats like tiny kittens. Juliet reached for the shiny silver door handle, unsure it was real, while Juliana stared at the ticking clock on the dashboard. The car moved through Lagos, sunlight reflecting off buildings, while street vendors lifted baskets of gala and chilled water to windows. Inside the vehicle, a quiet settled over them, tentative and fragile, broken occasionally by soft, halting conversation about trivial joys. "How old are you?" Benjamin asked, testing the water carefully, feeling like a man learning to swim in new life. 15, Juliana replied, voice small but steady. "Born in May," Juliet added, "same day, same minute, exactly, together." "What do you like?" he continued, curiosity cautious yet earnest, learning about daughters he had never known existed. Juliet brightened slightly. "We love numbers, we love patterns, we like making order out of chaos in everything we see." Juliana nodded, lowering her voice. "We love computers too." Benjamin felt a warm, undeserved spark of pride for daughters he had never held, never known, yet were undeniably his. They arrived at a private hospital, white walls gleaming, air cool and crisp, scented faintly of lemon and antiseptic. Nurses paused at the unusual sight of a billionaire man and two girls in ash-colored dresses, but their smiles were gentle. Paperwork was filled, swabs carefully taken, the twins holding hands tightly, bracing themselves as if crossing a thin, trembling bridge. Time stretched as Benjamin paced the hallway, shoes whispering over the clean floors, haunted by a memory of a smiling girl. Juliet and Juliana sat side by side, feet dangling, careful not to appear hungry or desperate, holding each other close. A nurse offered bottled water, and the twins responded softly, politely, a single voice between two intertwined lives. Finally, a door opened, and the doctor emerged, holding a brown folder, calm but eyes bright with weighty knowledge. Benjamin stopped pacing, heart hammering, as the twins rose slowly, the hallway echoing like a drum about to be struck. The doctor extended the folder, voice steady. "The results are ready." Benjamin's hands trembled as he reached to take it. Juliet squeezed Juliana's hand again, holding on tight, both bracing for the next moment that might alter everything forever. Benjamin slid his thumb under the flap, lifting the results carefully, like opening a door to a life-changing truth. Then he froze, eyes locked on the first line, heartbeat echoing in his ears as silence stretched endlessly. Juliet's breath caught in her throat. Juliana leaned forward, searching Benjamin's face for hope, fear, and the impossible answer awaiting them. The paper shook violently in Benjamin's hands, as if it carried the weight of 15 years of unanswered questions. "What does it say?" Juliana whispered softly, her voice tiny, fragile, barely audible in the wide white hospital hallway. Benjamin lifted his head slowly, lips parting as the doctor, noticing his trembling, stepped cautiously closer with quiet concern. "Sir," the doctor said gently, "would you like me to read the results aloud?" "I can do it for you." The folder lay open before him, truth only a heartbeat away, whispering promises of answers and relief he never expected. Benjamin glanced at the twins, at their brave thin shoulders, at the flickering hope reflected in their eyes. Then he looked back at the paper, words threatening to change everything, and opened his mouth to speak slowly. The hallway seemed smaller, compressed, as if every breath, every heartbeat, were drawn inward toward this single, life-altering moment. Benjamin gripped the papers so tightly the edges bent under his fingers, his eyes locked on that first line. Juliet took a tentative half-step forward, voice trembling, as if each word could shatter the fragile hope in her chest. "Please, sir, what does it say?" she asked, leaning slightly, her gaze flicking nervously toward Benjamin's nervous expression. Juliana's grip on her sister tightened as she whispered, "Is it bad? Will this change everything we've waited for?" Benjamin's throat was dry, his chest tight. "Asterisk it says." Asterisk. He paused, pressing lips together, holding back sudden, overwhelming emotion. The doctor stepped closer, voice calm, steady, careful. "It says, you are the biological father of both girls, Mr. Obinna." For a heartbeat, no one moved. The world itself seemed to pause, allowing the moment to sink fully into their bones. Juliet's eyes widened instantly, tears spilling freely before she could stop them, hot and unrestrained on her soft cheeks. Juliana covered her mouth briefly, then let her hands drop, staring at him fully, disbelief and hope merging in her eyes. "You're our father," she whispered, fragile yet certain, the words quivering like the last note of a long-lost song. Benjamin's voice cracked, trembling, raw. "Yes, I am." 15 years of silent dinners and empty rooms suddenly dissolved in an instant. He stepped forward instinctively, before the girls could react, wrapping them both in his arms, holding them as tightly as possible. Juliet pressed her cheek against his chest, listening to his heart thudding rapidly, unevenly, almost frantic with a sudden, desperate joy. Juliana clutched his jacket desperately, as if afraid he might vanish, leaving her alone in a world she barely trusted. "I didn't know," Benjamin whispered, voice breaking. "If I had, you would never have suffered like this. I am sorry." For several long moments, they stayed intertwined, three souls clinging as if they could repair 15 years in a single embrace. Finally, when they pulled back, the doctor gave a quiet, approving smile before slipping silently away, leaving them alone together. Benjamin wiped his face quickly, trying to regain composure, and spoke firmly. "We're leaving. You're not being dropped off anywhere. You're coming home with me," he said, his voice carrying authority, reassurance, and the promise of safety all at once. The Bentley ride was different this time. The girls leaned into the soft leather seats with quiet, cautious awe. Juliet pressed her face against the window, watching Lagos pass by, bright and familiar, yet now foreign from this new vantage. Juliana kept glancing at the GPS screen, fascinated by the shifting streets, the moving arrows, and the sudden magic of technology. Benjamin glanced at them through the rearview mirror, heart softening. "From today, you will never sleep on the ground again. Never go to bed hungry," he continued quietly. "Never wonder if anyone cares. I will always be here for you." "No," Juliet whispered. She said it wasn't the right time yet. "We shouldn't know just yet." Benjamin forced a small smile, masking the unease in his chest. "All right, don't worry. Get some rest. We'll face it together." Yet, as he returned to his room, the unease lingered, deep, ominous, and tightly wound around the fragile peace they had found. If Lydia's arrival connected to Olivia's final words, Benjamin realized the truth might not only explain childlessness, but also threaten this newly discovered family. The next morning, Benjamin made a decision. He would confront Lydia directly, meet her face to face, and demand answers immediately. What he did not yet know was that Lydia had already arrived in Lagos, and she was not coming alone. Benjamin sat in his office at group headquarters, glass walls offering a clear view of the Victoria Island skyline, mind elsewhere entirely. The city sparkled beneath him, but his thoughts were locked on Lydia, the woman who might hold his family's untold past. She had called early that morning, voice calm, polite, but laced with sharpness, a subtle threat lurking beneath the civility. "We need to talk," she had said, unequivocal. "I'll come to you at noon. Be ready for everything." Benjamin had agreed, despite every instinct warning him some doors were better left unopened, secrets better left buried forever. At precisely noon, his assistant knocked softly. "Sir, a woman named Lydia is here to see you. Shall I send her in?" "Yes," Benjamin replied, rising slowly. He prepared for the confrontation, unsure whether relief, truth, or danger awaited him. The door opened, revealing a tall, dark-skinned woman in her late 30s, her black dress simple yet elegant, eyes sharp and assessing. "Mr. Inner," she greeted him, voice steady, calm, yet carrying an edge that hinted at secrets she carried tightly. "Lydia," Benjamin responded, rising to meet her. "Please, have a seat." She paused, studying him, searching for familiarity, then sat carefully. "I knew Olivia before you did," she began, voice measured. "We were roommates in university. She was like a sister to me." Benjamin leaned forward, words catching in his throat. "And yet, I never met you until now." Lydia nodded, expression unreadable. "By the time you met her at graduation, I had already left for the UK," she explained quietly, voice tinged with memory. "But Olivia told me everything about that night, everything she tried to reach you about afterward." Benjamin's jaw tightened instantly. "I never got her calls. I never knew she was pregnant," he admitted, voice low, heavy with guilt and regret. Lydia's eyes softened briefly, then hardened. "Olivia believed you ignored her. She believed you turned your back on her and the girls. That's why she cursed you, as the twins told you." Her words carried weight, intent, and desperation. Lydia explained patiently. Benjamin nodded slowly. "I understand. But what else do you know? Lydia, what did she leave unsaid?" His voice held caution. Lydia took a deep breath, eyes lowering. "There's something Olivia never told you. Something about the twins' birth that you need to know." Benjamin's pulse quickened, heart hammering painfully. "Go on," he urged, bracing himself for a revelation he might not be ready to hear. "They weren't born in Lagos," Lydia said quietly, tone low, measured, her words hanging like an ominous shadow in the room.